All right, hello once again. Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. And as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD, or Application and Website Development Program, and in particular the AWD 1112 Application Programming with Java class, I'm doing a series of video presentations, all right, on both books used for the class. The first book used is Java Quick Syntax Reference. And in there, I have gone through the first 11 chapters out of 22. All right. In fact, I've got a copy of the book, a hard copy that, yes, I actually paid for. Because you can buy this book, and it looks like it is, I think it's about $9.95 because it's a smaller book. But the copy that I have actually has in it 23 chapters. An extra chapter that's 3 or 4 pages long on lambda expressions that we will talk about in just a bit. All right, so we're on Chapter 12, Inheritance. Inheritance in many ways is like genetic inheritance. All right, in other words, and again, you may have heard me say this already, husband with big nose marries wife with big nose. They have child. Pretty good chance the child will have a big nose. That might be a terrible way to put things, but kind of the way it works. All right? It's not like the child can sit there if she or he doesn't like their nose. They can't have a nose job. They can live with it, but they can't just take their nose off and put on a different nose whenever they feel like it. Kind of, though, is what you can do with software inheritance. So as it says, it allows a class to acquire the members of another class. Now, here's an example where we declare a class that's called fruit, and we say every fruit has a flavor. All right? Then notice we create a class apple, and this is the first time we've seen this word, extends. When we did this in C#, we used a colon, but this means that apple inherits from fruit. So an apple, by its very definition, would have a flavor. But an apple would also have a variety, where a fruit doesn't have a variety the way this is set up right now. In Java, Java only supports what's called single inheritance, which means a class can only inherit directly from one other class. It cannot inherit from multiple classes. There are languages like C++ which does allow for multiple inheritance. Java is not one of those. If you don't specify anything at all, like we have here with class fruit, then it automatically inherits from or extends object. Object is at the top of the chain. So even though we didn't do this, you'll notice if we were to go back to our program where we say public class, my class, we could have said here extends object. We wouldn't get any error. That's extraneous code, though. All right, it does it anyway, so there really is no reason to put that in. Again, it doesn't hurt to put it in, but what is the word? It's superfluous. All right. A subclass is a specialization of a superclass. So let's look at how it works in the real world. I'm an employee of Rankin Technical College. I'm also a person. All persons have certain characteristics. We all have a height. We all have a weight. We all have an eye color. We don't really all have a hair color because if you're bald, I don't know what they put. But let's just say those height, weight, eye color, and gender, okay? But as an employee of Rankin Technical College, I also have things that a non-employee doesn't have. I have a Rankin ID, all right? I have a Rankin telephone number. I have a Rankin email, etc. So my subclass, employee, is a specialization of a superclass, person. So apple is a kind of fruit. Fruit is a kind of object. All right. It says if an instance of an apple is created, it can be upcast to fruit, since fruit has everything that an apple has. So you can do this. So it says here, the apple is then seen as a fruit. So only things that were defined in fruit can be accessed. So in other words, if you do this, no longer will you have variety available to you. All right? The opposite of upcasting is downcasting. When a class is downcast back into an apple, the field specific to an apple will have been preserved, because the fruit only contained the apple, it did not convert it. The downcast has to be done specifically by actually casting, as you can see there. As a safety precaution, they mentioned on the bottom of the page here, you can always test to see whether an object can be cast to a certain class. So they say here apple C. All right? If F can be an instance of apple, if F is an instance of apple, then you can cast F to an apple and assign it to C. If it cannot be, you take and assign null to C, which means it doesn't have a value. Now that was a very short chapter. All right, so we'll come back in just a minute. We'll talk about overriding. All right, and we'll get through a few more chapters today. Okay?